This week's episode of The Grid is sponsored by MPix. Shoot today, upload tonight, we ship tomorrow.
On One Software, focused on photography.
Peach Pit Press, publishers of technology books, ebooks, and videos for creative people. Epson, exceed your vision. Expo Imaging, Rogue Flashbenders for speedlight enthusiasts.
Intel, the power you need for hardcore creatives. Squarespace, everything you need to create an exceptional photography website.
And B&H Photo, the professional source.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another live episode of The Grid. My name is Scott Kelby, and joining me is a man who is having a birthday today. Dude, all right, how old are you?
Look at the black balloons.
Oh, no, you're 60.
So, no, I'm not 30. I've already done my 30.
You're not 50.
I'm not 50, so.
Dude, are you 40?
I'm 40
How did
today.
I not know this was your birthday today?
I don't know.
Don't they send me some kind of a memo or something?
They should.
Well, happy birthday.
Everybody should get a memo for my
Yeah.
birthday.
Hey, I think we should all sing happy birthday.
Oh, God,
But,
no.
but Pete, you got to come up here so I'm not the only one singing. Pete is the most unashamed singer in
He
the
is.
world.
Dude,
He will sing.
Pete gave that look like, oh, my God, I got to do this. Inside, Pete is actually like rejoicing.
Oh, man, he's living.
Well, let's
to
get
it.
more people.
Yeah,
That's
wait,
gonna be
come on.
weird.
Who's got Brad?
Orlando, come
Brad
on up
loves
here.
to sing. Come on.
Weird.
Well, speaking of needing to sing, you know you got to come up here, Daniel. Daniel
on.
will sing crazy songs.
All right,
Is Daniel
Daniel.
here? Where's Daniel?
Daniel sneaking in over here.
All right.
Come on, Arnaldo.
Come
you
on.
can't hide.
We just lost
Come
all
on
our
over here.
viewers.
Look, nobody cares about the cameras. Nobody's watching this. Speaking of that, I better tell people.
Meanwhile, back
on
at the
Twitter,
village. Daniel, get over here.
Come watch the
Daniel,
Grid.
you're summoned.
Arnaldo, you get over here too.
Is it just us now? Oh, come on.
Happy
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Matt. Happy birthday to you. Yay! All right.
Oh,
All right, he blew his laptop out.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Anyway, happy birthday, Mr.
Thank you.
K.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, we have a great show. Before we get into things real quick,
It
I'm
gets
not
better
sure we
than
have-
this?
It gets slightly better. First off, I just want to say I called Matt today specifically to tell him he wrote a blog post I thought was wonderful today over on his blog. Is it mattka.com?
Yeah.
Mattka.com. I have it bookmarked, so I don't type it in every day. But anyway, he has it's about the last 10 years of your life. So it's not really a Photoshop tutorial.
No. I
It's
say in
nothing-
the beginning, in fact,
Yeah.
it's got nothing to do with.
But it's very good. It's very, very
Thanks,
good,
man.
and I think it's neat to see. You know, it's like a little snippet of Matt's life of 10 years, and it's really great. I don't mean this in any kind of condescending way at all, but I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
It's a terrific article. So if you get a chance, go and read it.
If I said it in the article, and I know you'll totally agree with this. I think what we teach is so personal for so many people out there, because there's obviously a lot of professionals that do this, but there's a lot of people that are just passionate photographers.
Right.
They love what they do, and because of that, because they're personally passionate about it, we get a lot of personal questions from people like, how'd you get into this?
Oh, we do.
What do you do? Where do you get your like all these personal questions? So that's kind of the idea, I guess, of why I wrote it. Because
But it's really good. It's really well written, and it's very insightful.
Thank you.
And so I mean, I work with Matt every day, and there were things that I was like, oh yeah, I didn't, oh yeah.
So I think one of the you even said it. So just to give you an idea, 10 years ago when I was 30, I was attending a Photoshop World.
Yeah.
I was an attendee at a Photoshop World.
He's sitting in the audience.
And I think it might have been LA or I think it might have been LA or Tampa.
And now?
And now I'm teaching a Photoshop
It's
World.
your
It's like
17th?
my 17th
17th
Photoshop World.
World.
It's like surreal to think
Wow.
that where it's come. So
It is.
cool stuff.
So go check that out. A couple other things. So I want to just give you a little. I wasn't really going to announce this today, but I'm going to go ahead and announce it because So I've mentioned a couple times I'm putting together a new tour for this year. So last year I was doing my Photoshop for photographers, and this year we're actually doing a test run of my tour tomorrow. So when I go to do a new tour, I actually do a test run. I bring in about 35 people, and I do the entire seminar from beginning to end, and we don't charge the people. They get to come for free, and we also buy them like breakfast and lunch. And the idea is to get feedback before the tour goes out on the road. It's kind of, we call it a dry run. And so what I do is I do the session, and then I end it.
Yeah, you stop every hour.
Yeah, I stop every hour. Of course, I do. We take a break for restrooms or whatever, but I stop every hour, and then I ask the crowd, okay, was there anything that I just showed you didn't understand? Was there something that you would expect would have been in that class I didn't cover and all? I cannot tell you how fantastic it is in developing curriculum to have, you know, people there, and they know when they come that we're like, you're going to come and you're going to get the whole day for free, and you're going to get food, and we'll hang out and it'll be great. But your job as an attendee is to help us develop the tour and make it better. So when I go to my first city, which is coming up, I think, I want to say April. The tour starts in April. That when it starts, that we've got, you know, some of the bugs worked out. We've got the updated you know, curriculum, and I'm showing what people would expect to see in that.
Yeah, hopefully it usually is a good representation of the audience that's out there.
Oh yeah, it is.
So you get the questions ahead of time, so you know kind of how to head it off.
Okay, so there we go. I guess the tour launches on April 3rd in Philadelphia. Love Philadelphia. Maybe we can have dinner with Cliff Mountner. He's up there. April 30th in Chicago. Oh, I love Chicago. I missed Chicago last year, and you're not able to register yet, though. They haven't opened up the registration, but Brad was able to dig those up. Thank you.
Will you bring me back Philly pretzels?
Oh yeah, Matt always calls me in the airport and says, "Bring me back Philly pretzels." All right, one more thing. So what's the tour about? The tour. All right, I said I'm doing a tour. It is a tour. It's a photography tour based on my digital photography book series, volumes 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So it's not exactly what's in the book. It's some things from the book and some other things that I've learned, and it's the stuff that people seem to be struggling with a lot. People ask me about a lot.
Yeah.
I put a whole day together. It starts with a class just on getting all the camera stuff out of the way, like getting the right settings, working in the right modes, doing all the right stuff. And so the first class is really just about camera stuff. The next class is about travel and landscape photography. We have a class on hot shoe lighting, so just, you know, working with a small flash, and a lot on natural light. So natural light and small flash. The fourth class is just called how to take better photos, which really, I think that's the end of the day. That's what people want, and we go through a whole big thing. And then I end the class with the most popular chapter of my book. I do a photo recipes thing. So we have a whole thing for that, and it's coming in April, and so tomorrow's my test day. So I'll be here in the studio, well, over there in the studio, tomorrow all day, and
cool.
I'm really looking forward to it. I'm very excited about it. You know, you put a new tour together. You know, I want every tour to be better than the last one, right? So I put a lot into it, and I'm really, really tired. All right, hey, a couple other things. What else we got, Matt? Oh, we got giveaways.
We got giveaways. We got a shirt from
the Ape shirt. Okay, so Ape is author, publisher, entrepreneur. So Ape is a very, very big book right now from Guy Kawasaki and Sean Welsh. It's a great book about publishing your own books.
We got a laptop messenger bag thingy.
Messenger.
Apparently it's a really slow week for contest prizes.
Yeah.
So how about we let's give away a tour ticket or something.
Yeah, you're out on tour. You've been gone for like a week.
Yeah, I got my next one is in Phoenix on March 22nd. But you know, I'm sure RC's I know RC's out there a bunch, and and yours. So
okay, do this. Go to KelbyTrainingLive.com, wink, and find the city you want to go to. And when at the end of the show we tell you how to enter, and you just write in, I want to go to Phoenix, I want to go to Boston, I want to go wherever, and then we'll do some drawings. Well, we say we draw like 4 tickets.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, so just tell us. Oh, there they are. Brad's got them. And so Ben Wilmore is doing a tour with us, New York and Washington, coming up in March. Oh, I think it's about to appear on screen through the magic of video. So yeah, Ben will be in New York and Washington. Let's see. Then Matt, no, that's RC is in Richmond and in Tampa, Florida, our hometown.
Yeah, he's in Richmond today, so
he's in Richmond today. I wouldn't go to that one. Minneapolis is Joe McNally. He's kicking off his One Light, Two Light tour in Minneapolis in April, and then Matt is in Phoenix, Arizona, all the way to Tacoma. That is in March 22nd. So let us know which tour you'd like to go to, and if you want to go to one of my tours, we'll do that too.
And you'll still get the snazzy knapback, and of course, who doesn't
Hey.
want to walk around with a shirt that says ape on it? So,
All right. I know something I can give away. This would be a giveaway for someone going to Photoshop World. So you're already going to Photoshop World, which is coming up in April. How about if I do a giveaway of any pre-conference session that you want? So the day before Photoshop World, we do pre-conferences, and there's a good one. There's one with Joe McNally. There's one with Moose. It's like an in-depth workshop, like 4 or 5. Well, sometimes they go longer, but 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
And it's one topic and a small group, like 80 people or something like that.
Yeah.
So and it depends. Some are only 40 people. There's a concert pre-con for concert photographers. There's aviation.
Compositing.
There's compositing. You're doing a compositing.
me and Glenn Dewis are doing
Yeah,
a
Glenn
composite.
Dewis,
You're gonna
my
get,
buddy.
You're gonna get to shoot, and you're gonna get to edit. So,
Yeah.
So Glenn and I are gonna do it. and
There's
then-
the on-location
and then
wedding
we're
shoot,
gonna-
apparently. There's the Nap Safari. Oh, it's already sold out. Don't
Sold
do
out.
that one. Joe McNally's class, Characters on Location, Telling Stories with Light. So that's another really cool one with Joe. There's a Canon live shoot. And then there's Photoshop for Beginners. And then there's an ACE certified. So RC is teaching how to pass the ACE test, Adobe's ACE certification course.
And he wrote the test, so-
There's Matt's class, live compositing and editing and shooting and all that stuff. So it's channels and masking. It just goes on. And look, the Ape guys are doing a class on like publishing your own photo books. So I'll give away a ticket to anyone you want to go to if you're going to Photoshop World. So you have to put that in the contest. I'm going to Photoshop World. I want to go to this pre-con. We'll pick a random person and you get to go.
Perfect.
All right.
Break.
Hey, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we have a great topic today. And this is spurred, well, Matt talked about this last week, and then I wrote a blog post about it this week, just about one feature I wanted to see in Photoshop. I said, the next version of Photoshop, if I could just get one feature, I want to get this. I wrote a blog post about it. And then so today we're going to do what do we like to see in the next versions of Photoshop and Lightroom. We've got plenty of suggestions, but we really want to hear what you want too. So if you will be so kind, come right back in 60 seconds and we will kick it off with some things we want to see in Photoshop and Lightroom. You're on the grid with Scott and Matt. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Scott Kelby here with Matt. Want to give a big shout out to one of our sponsors. We could not do this show for free without sponsors because this show costs an incredible amount of money. Do you see all the people we have on the set? And the weird thing is, each one of them wants to get paid. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
I know.
But thanks to people like Intel, one of our brand new sponsors, we're very, very happy to have them on board. Thanks to Intel, we were able to do that. So go buy everything with Intel inside.
Processors inside.
Buy your processors. In fact, you don't even really need a computer. Just stop by the store and pick up a couple
Can I
of...
have a processor?
Sure, just go. They sell them about everywhere. Grab an Intel processor. We've got Intel processors in our stuff. Anyway, thanks to Intel for helping us sponsor the show. We love you guys. Welcome aboard. And now we're on to go make Adobe mad at us again. Okay, no, this is not. We love Adobe. And everybody, I think
We
it's
do.
pretty obvious, right? But there's some things that we wish were different. There are some things I would love to have added to Photoshop. There's a long list of what I'd like to have in Lightroom. So why is my list in Photoshop shorter?
I think because we use Lightroom more now. As a photographer,
Yeah, we
I think we
Lightroom
use
80%
Lightroom
of the time.
So Photoshop's a huge program. It's got a lot of stuff inside of it.
It's a very mature program. So I'm going to tell you what I wrote about on my blog. It's real short and sweet, and then I'm going to have Matt get on to some of his. So one of my things that I really wanted, I've been wanting this for a while, but I've just really started to bark about it, is I want a keyboard shortcut that does the last thing I just did again.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example of something I have to do all the time. I have to open up a graphic and maybe size it to some particular size. Let's say I have 3 graphics and I need to resize them to whatever, just something real short, right? When I do that, sometimes I just need to do it again. I don't know if it would take me longer to write an action
Than to just do it.
than to just do it. So, because when I talked to Adobe about this years ago, they said, why don't you just write an action? I'm like, because it takes a long time to write actions. And sometimes they don't work. So if I write them wrong. So I just want to be able to, but here's what I want, to really make it nice. One key, let's just say I'm going to use Command H, but you wouldn't do that one. So, because that's for hide. But there's some stupid ones that you could reappropriate. Command H does whatever I just did again. Right? So if I resize one, I go to the next image, Command H, it just resizes all the same specs. If I add the Option key, then it does the last 2 steps. So it could resize and sharpen. If I add the Shift key, so it's Shift Option H, then it does the last 3 steps. I'm cool with 1, I would love 2, and I would kill for 3. So that was my little thing. So it's not like I need new technology, I need some crazy math. I just need to be able to speed up my workflow during the day because you know what, can I tell you something? I know that there are people that are really out there that need to do 100 things, and need to run an action on 100 items, right? They need to do batch actions on high school portraits and stuff. Sometimes I just need to do something 4 times. Don't make me do it the hard way every time.
And dude, you know what I would do? I would make it Command 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, that would be nice.
Because Command 1, it zooms into 100%, which I don't know that I use a whole lot.
I don't know. Zoom 100% by double clicking on the magnifying glass.
I don't know that I mind the way that I normally zoom into it, and I didn't even know that Command 1 did that. I have no idea what Command 2 does because it's not doing anything. And Command 3.
He says Command 2 erases all your files.
Command 3. Ready for this one? Shows you the red channel and the channels palette.
Okay, so here's how Adobe. Here's how Adobe handles stuff like that. You know, the bridge when you launch it and you go press what? Command B. No, what is it? There's a keyboard shortcut in the bridge and it brings up a dialog.
I don't use the bridge.
Okay, good point. Well, don't feel bad. Nobody does. Okay, anyway, you know what they say about the bridge?
It's a reason why it's free.
There's a reason why it's free. Okay, so when you open the bridge, it says, do you want to use this keyboard shortcut for A or B? It gives you a choice. So for people that use channels, because someone right now just freaked ass out that they're like, don't change the channels shortcut, right? So no. So if you use channels all the time, you want Command 1, Command 2, Command 3 or whatever, or Command 3, 4, 5, whatever it is. But you could have that pop up and say, do you use channels? Do you do?
Yep.
Then go with this. But I think that was a great way that Adobe did that in the bridge to be able to give you your choice. All right, so that was my thing. I would love to see that. It's a little thing. It doesn't require a tremendous amount of stuff. A lot of Lightroom stuff coming in. You know why a lot of Lightroom stuff comes in? Photoshop is on version what? 11, 12. Lightroom's on version 4. So Lightroom is an amazingly, I think Lightroom is a more mature product for Lightroom 4 than Photoshop was for Photoshop 4. So, but Lightroom still has a lot of room to grow.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, so we have a lot.
I think that's why there's a lot of Lightroom stuff.
All right, what do you got for Photoshop?
All right, so I have one I've been wanting. I wrote a post on your blog like 5 years ago. I wanted this, which is when I am so. If you're going to use a photo inside of Photoshop, like let's say you open up a raw photo,
by the way.
What's that?
That's a beautiful photo, by the way.
Let's say you open up a raw photo.
Yeah.
Okay. And you decide that you want to do something else in raw. If you didn't think ahead and know what a smart object was, which by the way, nobody knows what a smart object is.
Except Dave Cross, he knows.
Yeah. So if you didn't know what a smart object was and have the foresight to open your photo as a smart object, you'd have to close it and then go reopen it inside of Camera Raw.
But you also have to close it, go to the open dialog, click on it, go and choose force to open in Camera Raw. It's like 5 steps to actually reopen a simple image in Camera Raw.
All I want over here is I want Camera Raw to be in Photoshop. I don't want Camera Raw to be a separate program.
Oh, like a panel. Like
I just want a Camera Raw panel. Just a Camera Raw. Always let me edit the raw file whenever I want to.
Oh, I like that.
I would love that so much.
All right, which panel would you trade for it?
I would trade the, well, let's go ahead here. I would trade the, I don't really use the histogram panel much.
Oh, yeah, I would trade the histogram panel in a heartbeat.
I'd probably trade the,
No, I wouldn't trade it in Lightroom because I actually use it there.
Yeah.
But it
Corey would kill me, but as a photographer, I would trade the 3D
I would
panel.
pitch that thing so fast. The 3D panel's gone. Okay,
Yeah.
but I think that's a great idea. Now we're getting some people that they're coming in with your things, and we really want them. But we're going to do Photoshop first, so everybody's clicking in with Lightroom stuff because wow, there's a ton of Lightroom stuff.
And okay, so can I? And I think you're on the same page as me. We didn't really we don't talk. We didn't talk too much about this topic before. I think a lot of the things that I have are things I hear from people out on the road.
Yeah, because we're out on tour.
And a lot of those people they're not going into Photoshop to do crazy things in channels and to do crazy complex paths and all these.
Right.
I mean, a lot of the people that I think we see out there on the road are people that have a small photography business or just really passionate about photography.
They do some retouching and things like that, but maybe they're not doing wild, crazy
So
stuff.
heavy-duty production techniques
Right.
aren't necessarily like right in action. I think that's a production technique
Yep.
that a lot of people, if it's your job every day to do, yes, actions are important. If you're just opening up a few photos you took over the weekend, I don't think actions are something that you're going to use a whole lot. But
I got nothing for actions. So in the Creative
good
Cloud, the last Creative Cloud update, if you're a part of the Creative Cloud, they release features like when they're ready. You don't have to wait for a whole 24 months or 18 months. They just go, here's some features.
Yeah.
So in the last one, they introduced something that people have been waiting for actions forever, conditional actions that say, if this state exists, then run this action. If this state, here's the one I want. One that's missing that I really, really want is a conditional state that is based on resolution, where I can say if this thing is 1,000 pixels wide, sharpen it with this lower
With the
setting. If it is 4,320 pixels wide, then sharpen with this entirely different one. So I would want a conditional action based on resolution. That's not one of the choices there.
Yeah.
So let's see what the choices are, because they're there, but there's still insert conditional.
okay, so when you're in the actions panel, if you haven't seen this yet, when you're in the actions panel and you click on an action, there's an option up here called insert conditional. And we were really excited about this.
Yeah, we were.
Until
we
we
were
went
like,
to
"Woo!"
create the first action that came to mind of how we would use it.
Yeah, and it's like,
Which was, hey, if I, like you said, different sharpening for different resolutions.
yeah, because a lot of photographers, especially for photographers, think about this. We create images for print. We create images for the web. Images go to different places.
So this is what you get. If document is landscape, square, RGB, CMYK.
If document is grayscale, then do this.
If it has a selection, if it has layers, if it has alpha channels, if it's open,
And these are good. It's just ironic that the first one we thought to do was just
not there. So
I would like to see if document resolution is blank, but you'd have to be able to fill in that number. So we know it's just the first one, right? Adobe always tweaks these things, so it's the first one. It's good that it was there, and for Creative Cloud members, they got it for free, so it's kind of cool. All right, so that was one. Okay, now the next ones I'm going to ask. They're going to sound really stupid, but I think it's time that you know how things evolve, right? I think it's time for a couple of evolutions. I think that the Gaussian blur, and the unsharp mask, probably the two most used filters in all of Photoshop. Would you agree? Mm-hmm. Pete?
Crack-a-lure.
Not Crack-a-lure.
Pete says crack-a-lure.
It's not Crack-a-lure. All right. This is why we don't go to Pete more often. So anyway, Gaussian blur, and give him a keyboard shortcut. Now, everybody at Adobe right now is going, oh, you could just make up your own keyboard shortcut. I don't care. I want you to actually make it real. Just make it real. Just do it.
Yep.
Give Gaussian blur a keyboard shortcut and give it a short one. Not because I think you can make, what was it? Shift Option Command G, I think, is available.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to get carpal tunnel syndrome to run one of the most popular filters in the history of man, which is Gaussian blur, and I don't want to have to do it. So give us an easy
Something easy, yeah.
easy.
And you know what it is? I'd give it Command G. Just I know it does something else, but
bring up that dialog box
yeah.
and say, do you want Command G to be for group? You know how often I use the Command G for group?
nope, never.
Hardly ever. You know how often I run the Gaussian blur? 100 times a day. Okay. So, and I know, I could
All right,
make,
what's
I
Command
could change
U
it.
do?
Command U
Hue
is
saturation.
Hue and saturation. That's a good one. Hey,
It is a good one.
Can you open a filter dialog box? Like open unsharp mask.
All right.
Here's my next one. I would love to see Adobe make up their mind and pick a freaking layout for filters. This looks pretty much exactly like it did in Photoshop 1.0. But then you go and choose Smart Sharpen. Go choose Smart Sharpen. And you get a completely different dialog. Then you go up at top, go choose, go to, everything you choose is completely different.
Yeah, no preview.
There's no preview.
No zoom in, zoom out.
There's no continuity whatsoever. Pick one. Now, you know what's nice about it? Like the one for Smart Sharpen is good.
Oh, yeah.
Be nice if they were gray too. But, oh yeah, I'm going to like, any of the ones from the, like go to the filter gallery.
Oh, okay. Right up here.
Can't we just have a filter? Can't you make that work within the smart? You know, it's like every time you go, it's like learning a new thing. It's like pick one and let's go with it. So again, these are small things. These are like just like, you know, come on, you know, pick one. Another one would be Matt's got a good one.
Which one is this? Oh gosh. So we alluded to it before. Take away smart object layers. Take them away and make all layers smart object layers. Just make them all work the way smart objects should work. Why should I have two different types of layers? And the problem is I think smart object layers are really good. It's just they're so undiscoverable. I don't think people ever get to use them because nobody really knows about them.
No, when we're out on the road and we show smart objects, the whole crowd's like, I had no idea that was in Photoshop. I mean, it's like very rarely. Now, you have to realize power users, you know, just like power users use actions, power users use smart options. These are people that they found a need and that filled their need. But your average everyday user, I don't think is really using either one of them, actions or smart objects. So
yeah, they have a lot of cool features too.
You know what the problem with the smart object thing is? You can't do everything to a smart object.
But see, make it so you can.
Oh, okay. Doesn't that make my simple thing sound so simple now? Matt wants you to create new technology to do that. Hey, I want to get to some questions here. Can we just jump over to Lightroom? Because all the questions are about Lightroom, except for Brandon Jacoby. He has one. He says, he's like wondering if anybody uses, he's curious to know if anyone, he underlines it, uses the navigator panel. You, Pete?
I asked him, I said, is there a navigator panel?
Oh, yeah. The navigator panel. That thing's worth its weight in gold. All right. Yeah. Okay.
You know what? Here, let's say. I think we can. Do you want to just blow through? We got like Photoshop stuff.
Yeah, I really want to get to their questions. Let's blow through these real quick. Let's blow through the rest.
A before and after view. I want a before and after view in Photoshop.
A complete before and after from where I opened the image to where I am now, like Lightroom does.
Which ties into your button about.
Oh yeah. So you can do this. There's a hidden keyboard shortcut. But you know, you have all these buttons. They added all these buttons in the layers panel. Can you show the layers panel? Yeah. See, they got all these buttons up top now. They add all these buttons. We need one more. I just want a button that hides every layer other than the one that I'm on.
Yep.
Just one button click. I know there's a keyboard shortcut. Why does everything have to be hidden?
Well, yeah, and you would never find that keyboard shortcut in the Photoshop interface. You need to know somebody that knows the secret handshake.
Or you would have to have an app called Shortcut Sumo for the iPad that has every Adobe keyboard shortcut. Okay.
I think that's it.
All right. Is that it?
That's
pretty small stuff because it's, let me think, yeah.
I'm sure we'll think of stuff as the day
That's pretty small stuff. Hey, we're going to take a break. We're going to do Lightroom next because Photoshop's done. We're going to do Lightroom next. Hey, while we're on this break, you know what would be great if you would do? And by you, I mean you. Take this break to go, hey guys, they're just kicking into Lightroom on the grid. Go check it out right now. Send a tweet, go to Facebook, put it on G+, anywhere you are. Go to Pinterest and pin something. I don't know. But anyway,
pin it.
If you would let your friends know we're live on the air, we would love to get their questions. We're going to be hitting Lightroom hard because Lightroom needs it. Stick around. We'll be right back. Hi, everybody. Scott Kelby here. I'm the Conference Technical Chair for the upcoming Photoshop World Conference and Expo. I want to tell you something new we're doing for 2013 I think is going to have a really big impact. So we have over 100 training classes over the 3 days. What we've done is we've divided these very carefully into 7 training tracks. It's like having 7 conferences all in one place at the same time, and you can choose which one you want to go to. For example, let's say that you come to Photoshop World and you really want to learn Lightroom. Well, we have a Lightroom track that runs every day throughout the conference, so you can go there and learn nothing but Lightroom. Or what if you wanted to learn lighting? You can go and get the best instructors teaching you lighting every single day. We have 7 different tracks that are going, and by the way, if you're in a track, you don't have to stay in that track. You can go into any track you like and switch anytime, many times as you want. That's what's great about this. It gives you complete control over creating a custom conference experience with 7 different tracks to choose from. I hope I'll see you at the upcoming Photoshop World Conference and Expo. Hey, we are back. Just want to mention that Peach Pit Press, one of our sponsors, the people that publish my books and Matt's books and other people's books, have a special ebook deal just for Kelby TV users. Right now, it is on The Print and the Process from David Duchemin. It is, there's a code you can use. There's the code, Kelby TV.
Kelby TV.
Just pop that in and you get the book for some incredible deal. $21.50. 59, 29. Okay.
I bet you might even get it cheaper.
Thank you to Peach Pit Press. We love you. Now, hey, we had a couple of people that actually posted some Photoshop questions that we didn't see before, but we're just going to run through them real quick. There was one that was good here. I agree. Logan Miller, I am with you on this one, buddy. I like a shortcut for flatten image. Yep. Now, you got to realize if anyone from Adobe's watching this, and I know that they are, they are throwing stuff in their office. You can create your own keyboard shortcuts, for God's sakes. What's wrong with you people? but you know, Pete made a very good comment here on the break, and it's rare for Pete to make a good comment. So let's pull it out. No, but you have to remember all these keyboard shortcuts. And what happens to me is I'll create a bunch of custom keyboard shortcuts, and they're all long because all the good keyboard shortcuts are taken. And I know that you can force it to steal one, but I would just like Adobe. Adobe have done a great job with a bunch of keyboard shortcuts. You need to convene a council of the keyboard shortcut ninjas and come up with some really—
Templars.
Because a lot of these keyboard shortcuts were assigned 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's time to maybe we should look and see, what do you think we should change some of these? So anyway, that would be it. So I'm with you, Logan. Absolutely. So
Sway 715. How about a little Kelby training icon, like i.e. RC's head, at the bottom of Photoshop, similar to the paperclip in Microsoft Word? So, oh, I see you're trying to do HDR. Do you need some help? You know what the problem with it is? Clippy went away. Clippy went away because I think people hated Clippy. So I think everybody would hate RC's head too.
Nobody hates RC's head.
How about layer notes, like a little thumbnail on the layer that I can click on and add a note for the future, like add unsharp mask 50%, 1.5 radius, so it helps me remember layer details the next time I'm in the document.
But isn't there a notes thing already?
There probably
No one's ever used it. No, it's under the—
Yeah, window notes.
Yeah. Good news.
So it's not going to be attached to a layer, but it's close enough.
No, but if you go into the tool palette, there's actually a little note tool. Right? If you go over to the tool palette, there's actually a little note thing. No, you know what's weird? Nobody knows how to use it because no one's ever used it.
I'm sorry, I'm a little new to this program.
Go into the eyedropper, up.
Where the hell's the eyedropper?
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, and there's actually a notation tool right there, and you can pop a note right there. Good news.
If they don't know about it, go to the NAP website, and I've done a whole 3-hour thing on all the tools.
Yeah, look at that. So Pete said if you're an NAPP member of the National Association of Photoshop Professionals, the organization that we all work for, Pete has a 3-hour class on every tool. So go watch Pete's class, and there's all kinds of stuff. Matt's dissing it. Okay, so good news for Jargon 14. David D, we need to be able to create a lens flare on an empty layer. Okay, you can, David. It's a workaround, but can you go create a new create a new gray? But yeah,
I think he might even know that. I think.
Yeah, fill it with gray.
So you fill it with 50% gray.
Gray. All right. Switch your blend mode to soft light, and now you can create a lens flare on a blank layer. See, there you go. And you don't see the gray. That's maybe too big of a lens flare, perhaps, Matt.
You don't see the lens flare either.
There it is.
Oh, there's no preview.
There's no preview because...
You could have had a preview. Like, it goes back to your thing.
Yeah. Okay, everything should have a preview. Okay. So anyway, there's a good one. We're sizing these. Okay, a better sized preview window, period, especially when using some of the selection tools.
You've said that for a long time. You want all preview windows to be the size of Smart Sharp.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. David Shepard, please have more than 4 color sampler points. ACR has 8. That should be easy enough to fix, right?
Yeah, I don't ever use them, but I guess
well, he does.
somebody...
All right. Invisible Green says, oh, it's a Lightroom thing. Hold on. Lightroom.
Put that in the Lightroom category,
Lightroom.
Keyboard shortcut.
All right, here we go. Last one. David D.
Ooh, this is a good one.
What is it?
Keyboard shortcuts, preferences, and actions should sync via the cloud for people who use multiple computers when they upgrade computers.
Yeah, but that sounds like something that Adobe would put in the cloud. Doesn't that sound like kind of Creative Cloud kind of thing? And maybe one day. But okay, that sounds like a very.
I wonder if it's there. I remember hearing about this.
I don't know.
It's possible that it either A, might be there, or B, I think Adobe might even agree with you on this. And
one day, maybe.
But and can I add one? Dude, I got 2 things I want. I want retouching. Like, almost like on one's perfect portrait. Like, it's Adobe. They've got technology that nobody has in the world. Find the eyes, find facial features, find teeth, find stuff like that, and help me out with retouching. Yeah. That's one thing I would love to have. The other thing is I want effects in Photoshop. Photoshop should have effects. I should not have to buy a third-party program, or I shouldn't have to do 6 layers, 3 blend modes, 4 filters to get a
tonal contrast.
Effect.
All right, how about this? Adobe, if you're listening, how about going and just buying Topaz? Go buy the people that make Topaz. They've got great plugins. They've got plugins that do everything. Can you imagine what it would add to Photoshop if Adobe went? Because you can't buy Nick.
Yeah.
On one's too big now.
Yeah, I was going to say, on one, I mean, I like their stuff the best, but yeah.
Yeah, they're big. But Topaz is lean and mean. They have great technology. They have great plugins. Buy them before they become on one and you can't afford them anymore. Seriously, they're a great company. They have great technology. Yeah. Their plugins keep getting better and better. If you took the Topaz plugins and put them all in Photoshop, it'd be insane. But you'd have to change the interface to where it all looked
good. And
the same. Okay.
But I want filters in Photoshop.
We want effects
like
filters.
Real filters, not craquelure and mezzotint and
because you know what's happened to Photoshop's filters? Instead of giving us filters that do really cool things, they've given us filters, and then we have to figure out really cool things to do with them. We have to add 3 layers and invert and run a high pass and do an invert and high pass. We have to do all these things. So instead, why don't you just give us really great plugins? And so, because we do have to, everybody today buys third-party plugins, right? Because it's all right. All right. So let's get off of Photoshop.
All right, Lightroom.
Because we got Lightroom coming out our ears.
All right, you want to take Jason Joseph's off.
Oh, Jason Joseph. Hey, Jason.
Right, well, actually, he's got a Photoshop one, the ability to output multiple file types at once. I've been doing this in phase 1, capture 1.
Multiple file types at once.
So JPEG, TIFF, PNG.
Well, I mean, couldn't you kind of technically do that in Image Wizard or Image Processor? Yeah, it's clunky. It's clunky.
As long as you want one of those file types.
So you know what? A lot of the things, and here's what it is. So if anybody's listening from Adobe, and I know some friends are, so it's not that these things can't be done, but everything shouldn't be a workaround, right? Make it elegant. Don't make it clunky. Well, yeah, you could do that. You can use this. You can kind of get around that. Make it nice and sweet. All right, Pete wants to throw one in.
How about when you go to save a file, the main ones are up top?
Oh, there we go. That makes sense. This is a really simple one, Adobe. That's a great one. So Pete says when you go to save a file, right, there's like 30 file formats you can see, right? And there's 4 formats no one's ever heard of. Why don't you put the ones we actually use up top?
Or the last one you used.
Or your most recent.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be, so what do people save as? TIFF, JPEG, and PSD. I'd make those 3 first.
Yep.
Put it in alphabetical order at the top, and then put a little line, and then list them all again.
All right, let's do Lightroom. Come on. Lightroom.
All right, here we go. Lightroom, we need to... All right, Andre, Lightroom needs to either improve the web section or just get rid of it. Okay.
Absolutely.
Oh, wait, Andre, I got a thing. I got to think seriously.
Okay.
Here's what I would love Adobe to do with a web module. Okay, the web module it's a joke. All right, it was designed a long, long time ago, and now nobody needs to rely on Lightroom to have a web gallery because you can get free web galleries all day long, all of the beautiful ones, amazing ones, not ones that have all the upkeep of that one. Here's what I would love Adobe to do. We need one thing. I'm begging you, Adobe, begging. Take that web module and just make a very, very good proofing module. That's it. Just proofing. That's all we need. Because you know what we do need to do? We don't need to put up our portfolios anymore. We've got G+, we've got 500px, we've got a million places. What we do really need, though, is the ability to be able to go, client, here's the shots from today's, check the check boxes of the photos you want and have it automatically email me with the numbers. They want numbers 22, 75, 68, and 3.
Yep.
Now, there is a plugin that does this absolutely brilliantly. Matt's going to go to the next one. I'm going to look up the name of this plugin. It works fantastically. Adobe, go buy them before. Seriously, there's a little tiny company, like one guy, like Fred or Frank or dude. Go buy his thing and just stick it in Lightroom. And now we will have something really, really useful. And you don't have to go and do all these server-side calls and weird stuff. It's all bundled in. It's just like uploading any other web page. I'm going to go get the...
You go look at that. So I'll do the next one here. And I totally agree with this one. So Tom Peterson says targeted post-crop vignetting. And this is what Tom's talking about. If you go to the effects panel...
I got it.
If you go to the effects panel, post-crop vignetting always assumes that your subject is in the center of the photo. Right. And it's crazy, dude. Sometimes as photographers, I don't know if this happens to you, sometimes I don't put my subject dead center in the photo.
You should always put your subject dead center.
I know. I break all the rules, but sometimes I don't.
You put them to the left or the right?
I do.
That's crazy.
So anyway,
that's crazy.
I think Tom's like, what we'd like is just keep the same thing, put a little dot right over here, kind of like what you have with hue saturation. See that little target adjustment tool?
Target adjustment towards the tat.
Put a little dot right up here. When I click on it, it puts a little arrow here, and I click, and that sets me as the center point.
Yeah, that would be very nice. That's a great, all right. Okay, I found the name of the plugin. It is called the TTG, as in Tom Gary.
The Turning Gate.
Yeah, the Turning Gate. Yeah. That's it. The Turning Gate. Client Response Gallery for Lightroom. All right, it is a client response gallery for Lightroom. It's a Lightroom plugin. It's like, how much is it, Brad? We use it. What is it? 35 bucks? It's very inexpensive. It's 35 bucks. Now, yeah, I always ask Brad the price, thinking he's going to know. But you know what? I mean, in all honesty, and I don't mean this, they did a wonderful job with it. But how many are they going to sell a week? You know, are they selling 3,000 a week? Probably not.
Yeah.
So Adobe, go buy it. And just stick it in, and now we will have and just put all the customizations to this one proofing gallery, because that way we can. It works. It's real.
Don't make cool web galleries, because you know what's going to happen the second they make cool web galleries. Somebody's going to make one better.
Yeah, don't even make cools. Just make one nice one that we can use. It's utilitarian. But theirs are good. Theirs is really, really good. Go buy that. I'm totally with you there. So there's Tom Peterson saying next version of Lightroom targeted post-crop vignetting. All right, good. Tim S. Setting custom durations for each slide in the slideshow. Okay, Tim, it's you and me, buddy. I've given up on Adobe ever fixing the slideshow module.
I think because it's just you and Tim.
Because it is just me and Tim. Dude, you know what I use for my slideshows? I'll tell you straight up. I use Apple's Aperture. Their slideshow module kicks ass. It lets you sync to the music. You hit the return key. So if it goes, you know, da-da-dun, da-da-da, change, da-da-dun, da-da-da, change, da-da-dun, da-da-da, change, 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 change. It's brilliant. NFL. It's one key. And it's Fox NFL thing. But it's wonderful. It's perfect. It's elegant. It does a great job.
Yeah.
Adobe's, they need to start from scratch. I kid you not. They just need to go, you know what? What we put in there at Lightroom 1, we weren't sure anyone was going to use it. And now we've made sure they don't use it. You're Adobe. You're about images. Don't you have people there that can make... You cannot name me a program that doesn't have a better slideshow than Lightroom. Freaking iPhoto that comes on my computer for free kicks Lightroom's... Don't get me started.
All right, don't get them started on slideshows.
Slideshow's just like... And I know... I hope I live long enough to see it changed, but... Man, I sat in a meeting. Matt and I sat in a meeting room with Adobe engineers. How many years ago?
6, 7.
The engineers are in Minneapolis. We flew all the way out there. We met with the guy in charge of the Lightroom. He was really interested in it. He was really just like, we're going to do it 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah. And then he went to a startup or something.
Anyway, next.
You know what? I need to cool down. Let's take a break.
Cool down.
60 seconds, we'll be back. I'm going to recompose myself. And please don't anyone else mention the slideshow module, because I could go off on that thing like a Roman candle.
That's all right, dude. Nobody else will.
Okay. Stick around. We'll be right back here on the grid.
Hi, my name's Dave Black, and I'd like to welcome you to Kelby Training, where you can come join me on my light painting landscapes class. One of our locations is going to be at one of the most famous, iconic barns here in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Not only will we do light painting there, but we will also do some soft focus technique. The site survey will give us an opportunity to look at our subject and start to figure out where we'll have camera position and where we would be applying the light painting from. Now, just because we're out here in the great outdoors in a big national park, don't think you can't do these at home. All the basics and fundamentals that we'll cover in this video will teach you how to get into light painting landscapes, whether you're out here in Teton National Park or right in your very own hometown. Come to my light painting landscapes video at kelbytraining.com. I hope to see you then.
For more than 25 years, Peachpit has been home to the world's best authors and continues to publish the best books, ebooks, videos, and apps. Whether you're an aspiring or established photographer, Peachpit is here to help you learn new techniques and inspire your creativity. Peachpit, the future looks creative.
Hey.
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 Hey. Yeah. We're back.
Got lots of great feedback from you guys. Let's dip into it.
All right.
All right. Tim Ritter. I wish Lightroom had a work group edition. We have a team of 5 and can't use Lightroom in our workflow because we still can't access the same catalogs. Tim, buddy, I wouldn't hold my breath for that one.
I wouldn't.
I think our slideshow will be fixed first.
Yeah, I wouldn't. There's a lot of people like Tim out there. I don't think there's enough to make it worth the cost and the complexity.
Yeah, because I think
that
you'd have to start from
go
scratch.
Yeah.
I think you'd have to start from scratch. You'd have to say, let's build Lightroom as a networkable, you know.
Yeah, and Tim, so because this ties into one of the things that I had for Lightroom, which I was going to mention networking, not necessarily that I want networking. That's something I hear some people say, but again, I don't think there's enough people to warrant what it would take. The other thing that you hear a lot about is syncing between laptop and a desktop and all that stuff.
Yeah, live sync.
That process is incredibly difficult right now to sync, to take the work I've done on my laptop.
They did some cloud thing though, right? Some
that's
cloud.
That's where they could change it, because do you know what I tell people in my one-day seminar?
What do you tell them?
As I show them, if you go up here under the file menu, you can take a folder of photos, you can export as a catalog, and you could take that file and you can bring it over, and then you could do import from another catalog.
As clunky as possible.
And what I tell people is when I get done teaching that, I tell them my recommendation to you is Lightroom is a one-computer program.
Yeah.
You can do what we just said. It is possible to do.
Yeah,
you're not going to be happy with it. It's going to be clunky, and you're going to get upset with the way that it works overall.
Yeah,
so I think
clunky.
Lightroom is a one-computer program.
Hey, but you know what? Can you tell them what you say about the web module? Because you don't really show the web module on your tour, do you? Is it going to spoil it?
No.
Is it going to spoil it if you say it?
No. I mean, I tell them.
It's got the greatest quote I've ever heard about the Lightroom.
What do I say?
This is the greatest quote, and it's so true. You know when it really hits you, when you know, it's like something really cracks you up because you know it's true deep in your bones? This is one.
So I spent just a couple of minutes running down through. You see, I even hid the web module because I don't use it. I spend probably like just a few minutes going down through the settings in here. And then what I tell everybody is, at this point, you're thinking, well, gosh, I really thought Matt was going to talk about this. Or Matt was going to talk about this. And I have a question, does the web module do this? So I tell everybody, so you know what the answer to your question is. Whatever you're thinking right now, does the web module do this? The answer is no.
The answer is no. Whatever you want to ask about, does it do this?
And then I insert a couple questions. So can I have the web module link back to my home? No.
Can you have multiple galleries?
No.
Can you do anything good in it?
No.
It's just the answer is always
It's just
no.
no.
It's just, you know what? Make the answer yes. Does it have a proofing module where my clients can actually proof and get back to me? It could if you go buy TTC.
All right. Anyway, so that's the whole catalog and networking thing. I know there's a lot of people that want networking.
Johnny
but-
Panic's got a good one.
Where is it?
Right in the middle.
Oh, that's a good one. Password protect Lightroom catalogs.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah, that's all right. Let's see.
Aware tool better than the spot brush.
Yeah, so Pete wants a content-aware tool. Yeah,
Better clone tool.
the clone tool and all the healing and cloning. While it works, it could not be more clunky.
Now, I will say this. I have been live on a webcast with Tom Hogarty, who is the product manager of Lightroom. And people have written in and said, we'd love some type of better cloning and healing in Lightroom that's more like Photoshop. And Tom will say, that sounds like actually a really good feature idea. Now, in my experience,
If they say
when
it's
Tom
good,
says that, that's a really good sign. That means Tom likes it.
yeah, because if Tom doesn't like it, he just goes, yeah, not going to happen.
So
All right, let's see.
Lightroom integration with iCloud.
Yep.
Some kind of cloud. Any
Yeah, we need a
integration
cloud
would be-
thing. Okay, I want variable presets in Lightroom. I've heard this one a lot. I already adjust the highlights to where I want it, but then I decide I want to run an action. And of course, it ignores my current settings. Instead of saying highlights to 10, I'd rather have to add
10 to the current setting.
setting. Right.
Yeah, it's
So,
almost.
and a lot of people have asked for that variable
Yep.
presets, so I can understand that.
Yep.
Next one.
Invisible green. Also in Lightroom, when making a watermark, I want to be able to automatically insert the year the photo was captured instead of having to make a new preset for each year. I've heard people ask that. It's a very, there's not a lot of people that ask that, but
Man.
I could see it.
What about metadata presets, Matt?
Oh my God.
Is this your slideshow module?
You're going to get me in trouble with this, aren't you?
All right, check this out. So you made a metadata template. You said, here's my copyright, here's my thing. I apply it to every photo, right? There's Matt's preset, right?
And eventually what happens is you get a bunch of them here because you change it and you do all
You
of
get
it.
2000.
I've gone in and deleted all mine.
2012, 2013. You deleted them? How do you? Where's the delete button to delete?
What? There is no delete button.
There's no delete button. Well, you mean if you make 5 or 6 of them, you put different things in there, you can't delete them?
No. Well, you can. All right. No. You see, Pete, you got to go into the folder, right? Check this out.
Watch this.
If you go down to the edit menu, so here you're sitting there, I want to delete. Nope, no delete. But if I go to the edit menu, you think, okay, maybe there's a delete here. Nope.
Nope.
But if you click on the preset, it then enables a delete option down here at the bottom. Now, I say this in the seminar too. Adobe's never going to come to my seminar again. I don't know how a coder, because I used to be a developer, I don't know how someone went home at the end of that day and said, I nailed it. I nailed the delete
the way
feature.
You delete that. It's so simple. It's so obvious.
Because nobody knows it. People come up to me and they, how do I delete? And it's the same thing. Watermarks are the same thing. There's a watermark editor.
Yeah.
If you come up here to Lightroom, if you go to Edit Watermarks, come under here, no delete. But if you click on the watermark, it crashes. But if you go back into it again and you click on the watermark again,
it crashes
it's
again.
Just believe it's there. It's actually, it's under there's a little delete thing.
Sure it is. Okay. Hey, I've got one, and you're going to have to do this for me.
Okay.
This is a personal pet peeve of mine in the library. It absolutely makes zero. I have 2 that make 0 sense. First one. So let's just say I shot the Johnson wedding. Because you know the Johnsons are getting married all the time.
Okay.
One of their kids. Johnson wedding. I want to create a collection set.
I've
all right?
selected my picks.
Well, yeah. Let's go create a collection set. So go to the plus button. All right. And I'm going to create a new collection set. So this is like a main folder, and it's going to say Johnson wedding. And so, yeah, I want the Johnson wedding, and that way I can put inside it, you know, the rehearsal dinner folder, the folder for the formals, the folder for the reception, you know, whatever reception. All right. So create a collection set.
Okay.
Well, crap. It did nothing.
There's nothing in it.
Right. But it takes you away from the images. It absolutely did just nothing except for create an empty folder, but
And there's a reason why, because I thought I was setting you up for this, because I think you do this the same way. Is I'll usually do my picks, so I've got my picks
That's what I was getting
on screen
to.
here.
All right, I was getting to that.
So if I come over here and I create that collection set,
all right, right, those images don't go in there.
Nope.
The images don't go in there. There's nothing there. It's just empty and crazy. But I have a worse one. Go create just a regular collection. Just create a new collection, find some images.
All right, so here?
Yeah. All right, and go create a collection. So this is going to be a brand new thing, right?
I'm new to this program. Hold on.
All right.
Okay.
Now, I want these to go inside a collection set. So these are the Johnson wedding photos. I want them to go in. Go ahead and create a new collection set. Oh, you can't. There is no way to create a collection set. You have to go create an empty, stupid set first, then go back. It's like, how many steps can you make it to do something so simple?
Yep.
I want that formals to go into a... You have a dialog box open on screen. See, now click on inside a collection set. Why in there can it be new collection set? New. Right there, and it pops up and you name it Johnson, and then look, it creates a collection set with the collection formals inside of it. Come on, how hard can it be?
Dude, you're getting a call from San Francisco. Isn't Adobe there?
No, it's
San
not.
Jose.
Ooh, let me see. Hello? Hello? Oh, good. It's my publisher. All right. I see we're doing a, hi, Nancy. We're doing a show about Adobe, and we're saying what we want in the next Photoshop and Lightroom. We're kind of live on the grid. And I saw a San Francisco number coming. I'm thinking, oh, no, this is Adobe. They're just telling us they deactivated our Creative Cloud or something. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Hey, I just got some good news. This is my publisher,
Dude,
Nancy
I
Renzel.
heard best photography author in the world.
Yeah, no. So she's calling to tell me that for the third year in a row, I got the #1 best-selling photography author in the world. Woohoo! Thanks, bro. Hey, thank you, Nancy. Nancy, you can interrupt our live show anytime with news like that. But thank you. You're very kind. I probably should get back to the show. But I did. I thought that number like, oh, no, it's Adobe. They're pissed. All right. All right. I'll call you later. Thank you, Nancy.
Would have been kind of cool if it was Adobe. Congratulations, dude. That's awesome. 3 years in a row?
That's 3 years in a row, yeah.
Woohoo.
Woo. All right. Well, I didn't know because this year I hadn't heard anything. It's like almost March. I'm like, oh, they don't want to tell me. You didn't make it this year, bro. Because 4 years ago I lost out to Ansel Adams, right?
Yeah.
So he beat me. I was #2. Freaking Ansel Adams. All right. So, all right.
Next one, dude.
We got some more.
We got more. We got it. I'm surprised we haven't seen this one yet. And this one, you and I both. So I'm going to open up a program here.
Oh, here we go. This is, all right. If I could have anything, I would have this way beyond the slideshow module being brilliant.
Don't give me any features in the next version of Lightroom
You know what?
but this.
I don't care if Adobe, you put one feature in here, I will pay $500 if you put this one thing in here. And that is, make your thumbnails load as fast as Photo Mechanic. It cost me $150 to buy Photo Mechanic. How often do you use Photo Mechanic?
Every time I do a shoot.
Yeah, I use it every single time. I use Photo Mechanic every single day. Now,
every time I do a decent sized shoot. If it's 20 or 30 photos now.
Here's the thing. It's not just the thumbnails. When I go and shoot sports, every professional sports shooter in the room, I don't care if there's 50 or 60 photographers, every single one is using Photo Mechanic. And here's why. Not only do the thumbnails go fast, you can double click, it goes full screen, and you cannot move your finger fast enough. It'll show you, you can go bang, 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 and they show up full screen. Can you give a demo?
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna click on a folder now. All right, and this is a folder full of raw photos. Mind you, I bracket everything, so everything's gonna look bracket. I mean, there you go. Hold on, it's not drawing. It'll draw in a second here. Oh God, there we go.
Oh my God, we do a demo. We do a demo and it falls down. All right, but show us full screen. This is where it shines.
All right.
These D800. Oh, they're 36 megapixel files.
Full screen.
Right.
Rendered. Want to zoom in?
Yeah.
Zoomed in.
All right, but can you like? So what I do just.
Oh, you want to go to the next one? You want to go next?
Yeah. Next. Could you imagine even doing that in Lightroom? Look at that. It's out of the question. You would be stuck. You'd be stuck on the second one right now. Look at that, as fast as he can tap it. And these, when they come right off your card and you copy them to your drive, it's exactly this fast. You can zoom through full screen previews as fast as you can go. Adobe, I don't care if you add a single thing to Lightroom, the next version. If you do this, now, I'm having to spend $150 from, and everybody's buying Photo Mechanic. Dude, I run into more people now, and you know what I do in Photo Mechanic? I sort all my images, I get them to where I want them, and then I have to import them into Lightroom. But this program shows thousands of thumbnails, and then he can stop anywhere in here, click, and go full screen and start going bang, 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 bang.
Yep.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, we need that.
We need it bad.
Okay. Next up.
Hey, we got for Lightroom, build a catalog switching tool. I don't think so.
So, I want to take it one level different. Something needs to happen with catalogs.
I love the way you have to quit the program to switch catalogs.
Yeah, but there almost needs to be, when it comes to catalogs and organizing and everything, there needs to be a path for you to go to. Because in the course of that 7-hour day that I teach Lightroom, 75–80% of the questions I get are about catalogs and organizing your photos, not how to make a collection. Nobody ever comes up and asks, how do you make a collection? Because it's pretty easy. Nobody ever comes up and says, you know that exposure slider in the develop module?
What does that do?
I don't get it. Plus goes brighter. It's all about your photos. And it's because they're...
Where are they?
There's nothing in Lightroom to help you figure out what to do. And so I just want plug and play. I want plug and play. So someone plugs in a card and it sets you up with a recommended folder structure of some sort of how to do your photos.
Yeah.
You notice nobody ever asks, how do I import my photos to iPhoto?
No.
By the way, a Lightroom import from iPhoto would be pretty good because it's like a natural progression. A lot of people have iPhoto, and then they go over into Lightroom.
And by the way, one of the reasons why we are so passionate about this and why we're kind of pissed about this is because we absolutely love Lightroom. I spend 80% of my time in it. You spend your time in it. And you know what it is? It's like I tell Adobe. I've sat in tables from Adobe and go, you're this close. Just fix some of this stupid stuff. Fix the web module. Give us a different... This isn't like we need to get engineers that are super, super smart and get them into this room and create this new technology no one's thought of about. Dude, everybody makes a slideshow module. Everybody... This one guy makes that great plugin for the proofing. Come on.
And these are...
You're Adobe. You're billions and billions of dollars. Tens of thousands of employees. Come on.
And these are things, like Scott said, we love Lightroom. These are stumbling blocks that we hear every day keep other people from loving Lightroom.
Yeah, they're like, oh, yeah, well, there's the whole catalog thing. Oh, that thing's a mess. You got to start.
That is the biggest thing that I hear.
Right. Hey, I have an interesting thing to tell you when we come back from the break. We're going to take a short break. But I want to tell you something about a woman at one of my seminars and keywording that will make, I hope, make you think about how you're using Lightroom. But we'll be right back. We have more questions, more good ideas. Man. So stick around. Don't go away. We're live here on The Grid.
The key to the headshot and capturing a great headshot or portrait for that matter is expression. You can have great lighting, you can have a great subject, you can have a killer background, but if you don't have expression, in my opinion, you got nothing. Hey, my name's Peter Hurley. I'm a portrait photographer in New York, and here I am in my city. I knew I was a portrait photographer because that's what I do. I just am intrigued by the fact that we all look so different. We have so many different expressions we can make. Why not go for them? Maniacal. The art of capturing expression is simply working with your subject to get organic and spontaneous life out of them, human stuff. Now, forehead like a chicken. Hold that, I like that, good. When you have a person, technical is out the window. I'm 90% therapist, 10% photographer. The technical's done. I'm Peter Hurley, and it's all about making faces in portraiture. Come check out my class at kelbytraining.com. Shebang, shebang, shebang! #1 catchphrase.
think we're back
Hey,
on too.
we're back on. We're reading all the comments here. There's really good stuff. JW Photo says Lightroom should have 32-bit HDR support without having to go out to Photoshop.
I agree.
Matt agrees.
And I've heard Tom Hogarty say he likes that. That would be a great feature.
Would be a great feature. All right. How about with the watermark?
Where is
It
that
being-
one?
Yeah, Greg Davis.
Manual placement. Yeah, I mean you can anchor it to just about any corner on there. I don't know that that's the first time I've ever heard anybody say that.
All right, here's one I like. JW Photo. Lightroom should expand the adjustment brush to allow edits with absolutely every slider in the develop module. Yes, you know what?
Yes.
Also,
Vibrance?
Vibrance. Why can't I paint with vibrance?
Hue saturation?
Yes, I would love that, especially vibrance. Come on, you gave us saturation. Can we have vibrance? All right. Let's see. Brandon Jacoby. Brandon says, when reporting HDR back into Lightroom after tone mapping it, it would be great if the image didn't get lost within all images. Now, I'm not sure if this is on Adobe side or on the software developer side, but it would be awesome to see this fixed.
So I get a lot of questions on this in the one-day seminars, and I think it's got to do with the way people have their sort order down here. I'm trying to zoom in, but whoa. Your sort, it's in the develop module when you're in grid view, but I think it has to do with that. And so what happens is it'll go to Photoshop for HDR or whatever it happens to be, and they come back to Lightroom. And if your sort order is by like capture time or something like this, well, it's going to look at the capture time of the photo, the raw photo, and then it's going to see some PSD file, and it's going to shove it at the end of the list, and it does get lost.
All right, let's see. I'd like to be able to export collection sets and not just a single collection. Can't you export collection sets?
Well, you would just click on
the collection set.
I think you would just click on the collection set.
Yeah.
All the photos.
Yeah.
Select all. Export.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can right-click on it and export. No.
No, but it does. I think it does collection sets.
Just do export.
Let's see. Tim Shirley wants Lightroom to recognize .png files. Okay. Tethering in Lightroom sucks. Improved tethered capture like Sofort build. So tethering in Lightroom doesn't suck.
No.
When it works. It's actually very fast. It's quirky. It's quirky as crap. Brad and I went on tour with my Lightest Shooter Retouch It tour. We'd go to a city, it would work absolutely perfectly. We'd go to the next city, it would quit in the middle of nowhere, and there wasn't anything we could do to get it to come back live. It's just quirky. It works when it works well. I think it's the best tethering out there. When it's quirky, it drives you insane. We were doing a shoot just recently where we were shooting automotive. Started off with tether. We had to bail halfway through. We could not get it. It would just say, can't see the camera anymore. And you're like, come on. We tried everything to get it back. Okay. All right. So I'm going to give you this real quick story. And it's about Lightroom catalogs and stuff. A woman comes up to me at a workshop, and she's like, Mr. Kelby, and she starts describing the length that she's going to name her files. Like she brings in these files, and she goes, so I bring them in, and I sort them by the date, and I add these keywords, and she goes on, and I almost got like a migraine just listening to her description of what she goes through to tag her words. So I asked her, I said, do you sell stock photography? Do you sell like stock photos? She's like, no. And I go, so what do you do with your images? She goes, I keep them myself. And I said, do you have a hard time finding your images? And she's like, well, yeah, sometimes I do. And she's going through all these steps. And I said, you know how I find my images? So if I went last year to Italy, I go to my 2012 folder. I go to travel. I click on Italy. There's all my photos. And she's looking at me like this. But I read where you're supposed to do all this stuff where you name it by the date and the date and the order and then a sequential number and a name and a code. And I'm like, you know how many people I talk to that do that exact same thing? I talk to people day in and day out that have come up with these incredibly kludgy. Look, if you shot your kid's birthday and your kid 2 years ago, go to 2011, go to family, look for your kid's name, and click on birthday. People overthink the organization of their catalog in a staggering amount, right? Now, if you are
I was just gonna say.
If you are a stock photographer and you need to keyword, I don't keyword anything.
Nope.
You know how hard it is for me to find stuff? I find anything I want. If I want to find a shoot that I did a car 2 years ago, I go to my folder called, my collection called Automotive. I look by the car name. Oh, there it is, Aston Martin. Oh, there it is.
Yep.
And every day she's adding all these keywords, and I'm doing hierarchical keywords. I'm like,
oh God,
why? Why are you doing this? You know, and she really didn't know. And I said, now look, if you're a person that just enjoys the complexity of all this crap, and she's like, it's driving me crazy. I'm like, then stop it.
Yeah.
Why would you do this? Because I read on the internet. You're supposed to do it that way. And I got to tell you, I will say this: when Lightroom 1 launched, there was so much focus on metadata. Right?
Oh, yeah.
It was like metadata. And we all started doing it. I was keywording everything until one day I'm like,
why?
Well, a guy in LA asked me that question. A guy came and I was keywording and saying, Mr. Kelby, you have a hard time finding your stuff? I'm like, no. He's like, do you ever like type in a keyword to find your stuff? And I'm like,
no.
Not really. Then why are you keywording? Cricket.
Yeah, dude. I do the same thing, and I think part of it came is people have read some kind of a digital asset management, like a DAM something or other, and like you said, there are people that need that stuff.
Yeah, because Peter Krogh wrote a book that is fantastic.
It is,
but you have to be the right person to do that.
Exactly.
You have to be like, I'm in a situation where I'm curating such and such. But you know what?
And he needs that stuff.
So I'll tell you, who does a tremendous amount of curating, or like team photographers for like a pro hockey team, pro football team. They have to manage so many things. But if I was a team photographer, you know what I'd do? We'd play 16 games, 18 games, one for each game.
In 2012.
And then inside, one folder for each starter. So if they said, hey man, I need a shot of Josh Freeman, and it needs to be in his red jersey, I would go, Buccaneers, 2012, Josh Freeman, red jerseys, white jerseys. There it is.
Yep.
I mean, it's just, I think people overthink this stuff to absolute death. All right, we've completely run out of time. Let's give away some stuff.
All right.
We got a couple more we're going to read, but let's give away some stuff. Where do we go to give away stuff, Matt?
You know what? There's one that I put on here.
You can do it.
So I know we kind of made fun of it's a weird paradox here. I know we kind of made fun of customizing shortcuts in Photoshop, but there are some shortcuts that I would give anything to be able to customize inside of Lightroom. You know
what I would do? For library developed map book slideshow, it would be LDMVSP. I love the way the develop module is D and library. Would it be L, right? No, It's not. Only the develop module is D.
I would love if you could assign shortcuts to presets.
That'd be nice.
That'd be neat. Anyway.
Okay. How about I was going to say, how about a panel with them, but there is a panel with them. Hey, son of a.
All right. Well, we're going to give away presents.
All right, we go to KelbyTV.com.
Presents.
Here's where you go to enter the contest. Go to KelbyTV.com. Select the show. How about the grid? There it is. Give us your name, your email, your website. We have to have your email to contact you to say you won. And then leave us a content. Tell us if you want to go to a pre-conference at Photoshop World, and you're entered to that. If you want to win the Ape shirt or the Nap Messenger bag, whatever you want, just say, I'd love to win that. And then, you're entered.
Cool.
We pick winners. We send you stuff. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, because we're loose with money. Hey,
and I do. It's in all fairness, the tethering shoot. There was some problems with I think Brad said there was problems with the USB port. Lightroom 3, I had tethered shooting crash on me a lot. I haven't had that problem in Lightroom 4.
Oh, dude, Brad and I have had it crash.
Do you? Oh, you still do? Okay,
dude.
okay. So I take away all fairness.
Yeah, and we have had occasionally you do have the problem with the cable or something, but we've had it.
Okay. I take it away then.
Okay, one last thing, but I think overall it's pretty good. It's just a little temperamental. How's that?
Yeah.
Because when it works, it works great. So, you may or may not know, but Tom Hogarty is the Lightroom product manager. Tom will not speak to us anymore, but Tom is a wonderful guy, and I don't throw any of the blame on Tom, because he has a certain amount of resources, a certain amount of time, and I think Tom actually really understands what people's struggles are, and I think that if Tom had all the resources that he wanted, all of this stuff and more would be in there.
Yeah.
But it's very weird. So every time I sit down at a table with Adobe and I start going, why don't you guys do this? And dang, I want you to do that. Then they tell you what the reality of it is. Well, did you realize we have to?
Well, and they spout off
They
7
start telling all
reasons,
the
and you're
things,
like,
and then you go,
I get it.
Okay, don't do that. Don't worry about that. I'm sorry. But you've been griping about it. Yeah, I know. Don't worry about that. It's okay. So it is. I tip my hats off to Adobe. They do amazing things, and the reason why Matt and I always get so pissed about this is for 2 reasons. Number one, we both teach Lightroom. We're out on the road. I do a book on it. I teach it. And our whole last tour, we're using Lightroom as well. And we get tons of Lightroom questions, and it's been the same question since like Lightroom 1. So we're like, can we fix these things for God's sakes?
Yeah.
So we each have our pet peeves. You guys do, but you're probably not as angry as me and Matt because you probably don't have 500 people a year coming up and go, are they ever going to fix the insert your favorite thing?
And what they because you want to say like because it's like, well, you have Adobe's ear. You know, because you're looking at him, you're like, I agree with that. I can't change it. I can't. But you have Adobe's ear. Talk to him. And I'm like, I will.
Talk to him.
I will.
But you know what it is? Adobe can't do every. I mean, if there's 25 features you want, they can't do 25 features. They're like, look, we're working on some really serious stuff and all. We can get to 5 of them, 6 of them. You know, they can only get. And it's very frustrating because we go in there with guns a-blazing, right? We're like, fix this, fix this, fix that, fix that, fix this, fix that. Yeah, like, oh, they're always going to go, okay, what do you want to give up?
What do you want to give up? And you know what? So John Knack, who has worked with the Photoshop team and still does work with the Photoshop team, he always had a very good analogy too. And this is what Adobe has to go through because people are coming up and saying, you want a feature specific for you. I want this, I want this, I want this. And John said, years ago, I remember I got a chuckle out of it. He said, if they only take what you want, Adobe has to think of in the future. Not just what you're saying you want today. That
was Kevin Connor, actually.
Oh, was it Kevin Connor?
Kevin Connor.
And so the analogy was if people about cars, if we took years ago, if you took features for cars, people would say, I want a faster horse.
Okay, so that was a famous quote from Henry Ford that John Knack did write.
Yeah.
He said,
okay, so I'm getting it all screwed up.
Okay, so what John Knack, what Henry Ford's famous quote is basically is this, if we listened to our customers, we'd all be driving a faster horse.
Okay.
They never would have switched to cars, right? So, and to some extent that's true. And I always count on Adobe to create those amazing things that we weren't counting on.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't really worried about the recovery. I was totally fine with the recovery slider in Lightroom 3.
But it's better now.
Until I used the one in Lightroom 4, they're like, ooh, it's so much better. So
I never thought of content aware.
I never thought of content aware either, right? I just thought, well, that could never happen.
And now I can't go through a day without using it.
So I always expected, but I wrote a blog post a few years ago called How to Fix the Next Version of Anything. And it was, Adobe, you can do all those cool things. You can do all that stuff that you want to do, sliders and content aware and all that kind of stuff. But whatever our top 10 features are, whatever the public says, these are the features that matter to us most, do those 10 first. And then you can do anything else you want, but you got to do our 10. Imagine if we all got together and we put up a poll and said, these are the 10 features we want in Lightroom. These are the most important things to us in Lightroom. And Adobe did all 10. And then added stuff we're not even asking for.
Yep.
You know what? They wouldn't be able to do it for very long because Lightroom would be right where we want it in about 2 issues. Because we're not 100 things away in Lightroom. We're like 8 or 10.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tiny stuff. I mean, we use it every day. We have to love it because we do use it every day.
Yeah, we do.
It's just
we love it. It's awesome. All right, well, guys, thank you for letting us ramble on and on and on here. Thank you for all the great questions and all the stuff that you guys added in today. Thank you, Pete, for your comments as well, Mr. Brado. And I want to thank our sponsor, B&H Photo. B&H Photo makes all of this possible, along with our friends from Intel and PeachPit and MPix. And B&H Photo is the greatest photography store in the world. And if you ever go to New York City and you think, I'm going to go to the Statue of Liberty, Empire State Building, you got to go to B&H Photo.
And get a soft pretzel.
And Max Bremmer's. All right, so that's a chocolate place. Anyway, B&H Photo, buy them from online, bhphoto.com.
Cool.
Matt, where can people learn more about you? MattK.com?
MattK.com. My portfolio's up there and social media stuff, all that kinds of fun stuff.
I'm at ScottKelby.com because ScottK.com wasn't available. All right, everybody. Thanks so much.
I had to buy Matt I had to do some finagling to get that one.
I wasn't willing to do it. All right. Thanks, everybody. And we'll see you right here next week on The Grid.
Take care, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Ooh, look at that sweep from all the way.
This week's episode of The Grid is sponsored by MPix. Shoot today, upload tonight, we ship tomorrow.
All-in-one software focused on photography.
Peach Pit Press, publishers of technology books, ebooks, and videos for creative people. Epson, exceed your vision. Expo Imaging, Rogue Flash Benders for speedlight enthusiasts.
Intel, the power you need for hardcore creatives. Squarespace, everything you need to create an exceptional photography website.
And B&H Photo, the professional source.